Hey everyone, today I'm going to be making a Mr. Knight mask from the show Moon Knight. Alright, let's get started. When I first saw images of the Mr. Knight mask, I thought it had a pretty similar shape to Zemo's mask, so I used Odin Makes Zemo templates for the base. I won't go into much detail on how to put this together because Odin already has a video on that, so I'll leave links to his video and templates in the description. After gluing together the base of the mask, I made a template, link in description, to change the eye shape. I cut out the piece twice out of 2mm EVA foam and placed them behind the eye sockets and trimmed away the excess material on the mask. Then I glued on the remaining pieces of the mask base, but I'd recommend doing that before changing the eye shape. Next, using a rotary tool, sand down the edges of the pieces glued on top to get a smoother surface. Then fill in the seams and gaps with EVA foam clay. To get the clay to stick, wet the surface with water before application. Once the clay is cured, sand it smooth. Then heat seal it using a heat gun to make the surface smooth. Next, cut small holes for ventilation. Next, I cut the moon-shaped detail out of 6mm thick EVA foam using the Cause Tool circle cutter, but you can use an X-Acto knife. The template for this will be provided with the eye-shape template I mentioned earlier. Bevel the edges of this piece using a rotary tool and glue it on the forehead of the face shell. I also painted the face shell white because the fabric that will end up going on top was too transparent. Speaking of fabric, I cut out a piece of white fabric using a Spider-Man mask pattern. I'll leave links in the description to the pattern and the video showing how to put it together. The video is in Spanish and I don't speak Spanish, but I was able to understand it well enough and I think you'll be able to as well. You'll need to add a 1/2-inch seam allowance to this piece. And I didn't cut the eye holes out all the way, I just cut slits to give myself more material to work with later. Also, I made the mask with 2 layers of fabric just because it was too transparent, but you shouldn't need to if you buy thicker fabric. Sew the mask together. My sewing machine was broken, so I had to sew by hand. Once the mask is all sewn, put it over the foam face shell and mark the line shown in this picture. Make sure this curved part lines up with the moon symbol. Take the mask off the face shell and using white embroidery thread, go over the line, coming up from underneath and going back under on the other side of the line, making each stitch very close together. Sorry if that doesn't make sense, I tried my best to explain it. I glued a little bit of white fabric over the holes on the face shell because I could still see them with the mask over it. Again, this just depends on the type of fabric you have. Next, put the mask over the face shell, line everything up, and slowly and carefully glue the mask to the face shell around the moon symbol using super glue. I'm not gonna lie, this was pretty tricky. Finally, fold the fabric into the eye sockets and glue it in place on the inside. With what we've seen in the show so far, the eyes light up, but they don't on this poster here, so it's up to you if you want to add the lights or not. I'd suggest you check out Propway's Moon Knight video if you want to add the lights, or just want to make that version of the mask. Go check it out. Anyway, after all that, my Mr. Knight mask is finished.